And here I was trying to do other videos, and what do I see? Dun dun dun! What culture does another booking video of how WWE should have booked Sister Abigail? Interesting. Well, this is a very interesting idea that has been floating around since Bray Wyatt has debuted, since he first brought up the Sister Abigail, and the idea of Sister Abigail was always a way to bring up Bray Wyatt into prominence. Whether it was in 2013, they thought that his debut, people said that his debut against Kane was one of the worst matches ever, because his Inferno match was just garbage. And I get it, yeah, it was kind of boring. It was like a very lackluster debut, but at the same time, I thought it was serviceable. Then the Wyatt family weren't a big deal for a while until they started their feud with Punk, and then they got into it with Bryan, and then with the Shield, and then at WrestleMania you have Cena beat Bray, and that was when everything just fell down. Now, I have no problem with Cena beating Bray, but the problem is that there was no follow-up. Bray didn't get a strong win back. Bray, to this day, he is one of the most underutilized characters, and wrestlers, for that matter, because he is a great wrestler, in WWE right now. He has the most potential, and he should have been world champion, multiple times. So how do we fix this? Now, what Adam said was, it was interesting that he wanted Alexa Bliss to be manipulating Bray, to be like, Sister Abigail's replacement, because Bray sees Sister Abigail in Alexa Bliss, and then it turns out that she was manipulating him, and then Luke Harper returns, which I like Luke Harper returning, that's cool, but he is, a sympathetic monster. Him being with Becky Lynch, going against Bray and Alexa, it had good potential, but it was squandered. So many ideas are floating in my head right now. And look, I'm improvising right now, if you can tell. I don't have a script in front of me. I literally just a few minutes ago, I saw the video, and then I was like, no, you don't do that. No. I was talking to my screen like a fucking maniac. I felt like I was Bray Wyatt. So what he said was he wanted, because he said like the fans wouldn't accept, Sister Abigail if she came out like a, weird voodoo type priestess. Why? Why wouldn't they accept it? It's fucking wrestling. It's wrestling. Haven't you heard? People have been wanting Kane to come back as Demon Kane. People have been wanting to see The Undertaker. Whenever The Undertaker is around, they pop huge. Bray Wyatt is still, considered as a fan favorite, even though that he has been underutilized. Luke Harper. The list goes on and on. Anytime Boogeyman comes out, the people are into it. That's the thing. It all depends on how you book it. You can bring up a fucking midget, riding a fucking banshee, and you can make it like the most over thing in wrestling. It all depends on how you, how you do it, how you go about it. It's very basic stuff, and it's so weird that I have to say this, because you are part of a wrestling promotion. You helped started a wrestling promotion. And it goes to show you that, all these great ideas that you guys are coming up with, what culture is coming up with, they don't do half of that in their shows. Like, their shows aren't that creative. They have like these matches, and that's it. It's just wrestling. There are no great storylines. There are no these storylines that have so much potential that they would bring out in their booking videos. They don't even do that on their shows, which is why I don't watch their shows. Like, I haven't watched it in a long time. I wouldn't mind watching it again if there was a buzz going on, but there's no buzz. There's no buzz at all. So, and there's enough wrestling going on right now that I don't have time for any more wrestling, to be completely honest. Now, let's look at Sister Abigail. You said it's going to be Alexa Bliss. It should be Alexa Bliss. Her being an intelligent heel. That works. I like that. But not as Sister Abigail. No. Bray Wyatt shouldn't be that stupid. He shouldn't be that stupid. You're making him more and more and more of a sorry excuse of a great character. He's already a shell of his former self. Do not put him that much more down than he already is, because he should be the second coming of the Undertaker, but he's not being used that way. So what would I do? Easy. You let him come out on SmackDown. Well, no mercy time. And before the match starts, he would grab the microphone and says, "Randy Orton, this is your last time, and no mercy. This would be no mercy, okay?" And he says to Randy Orton, says, "Look, this is the last time I will say this for you, and I'm willing to give you mercy. Despite the name of this pay-per-view, I'm willing to give you mercy if you would just walk away. Walk away, Randy. Walk away, or be prepared to be devoured by the Eater of Worlds." And Randy Orton smiles and just snickers, and just as he comes close to Bray he just fucking motherfucks him under the jaw with just one of the wickedest haymakers you would ever see. Orton is stunned and he falls backwards, and it looks like that he's just gone loopy. Then he grabs Randy Orton and hits Sister Abigail. Now the match hasn't even started, and then he walks away. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? And that's it. He just leaves, and Randy Orton is just he's just coming back too. What the fuck is going on? SmackDown comes around, and Orton is in the ring, and he's like, "I don't know what happened, but Bray Wyatt, get your ass out here." And Bray says, he's not. You don't put him on the screen, because you put him on the screen even more. It's just more babble stuff. He breaks away from that for a little bit. He comes out and he says, he's on the stage, and he says, "Look, Randy, I gave you the easy way out last time we were in the ring, and I know you're not 100%. But I'm telling you, one more time, stay away from me." And he's just, that's it. He doesn't want to be, any part of this, but he's just forced by Daniel Bryan, by Shane McMahon, to get into the ring, to wrestle. And he's like, "No, I've had enough." And he's like, "You're violating your contract. You shouldn't. You should be wrestling." Like we say, when you've got a commitment. And Bray says, "I want out of my contract." Bryan says, "That's fine. Okay, you know what?" And then he says to Shane, You know what? Bray, go home. You need to go home. Go rest, and you need to. Yeah. I'm fine with it. You can go home." And Bray is like, "Thank you," and then he leaves. So then you bring out Eric Rowan, and Eric Rowan is just, he goes after Randy Orton. And he says, "I don't know what you did to my master, but I will destroy you. He goes after Randy. Then Randy just, he defeats Eric Rowan because fucking Eric Rowan is a jobber. Luke Harper comes out. After Orton just was about to punt Eric Rowan in the head. Luke Harper comes out and he makes the save. And Randy Orton is kind of like, he's not a heel, but he's not a babyface as well. He's a tweener. He can go either way. And so the Wyatt family are kind of now in a weird position because this is like a very gray storyline. Orton goes to the back, okay? And the way I would do it is Orton wants Bray, but Bray's not willing to come out. And whenever he's doing a promo, there's just light flickering around. Wherever he goes, there's just, people are like, checking their cell phones and like, ooh, what's going on? What the fuck is going on? And Orton goes, he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? He's walking by and like everybody in the hallway with their phones are just like somebody's on the phone talking to, a friend or whatever. And it's just like, what? I can't hear you. What? And Orton's like, what the? And, lights just keep on flickering for that week and then the next week. The week after that, we got Luke Harper beats a jobber up and then he calls out Randy Orton. And then Bryan says, you know what? I like this thing going on between you two. So I'm going to put you in a match. Tonight, you're going to have a match and I want you to have a balls to the wall fucking street fight. And because I know that nobody in that locker room can contain you. So you're going to have a match tonight and it's just, we're going to litter the arena with weapons. And you can do whatever the fuck you want. So you got Luke Harper against Randy Orton, It's a street fight. And Orton, Orton and Harper just go at it. And Orton is about to go for the win. He's about to deliver the RKO. Lights go out. Come back on. And Bray Wyatt's hat is in the middle of the ring, in between Harper and Orton. Orton looks at the hat and then gets hit by a big boot by Harper. And then Harper pins him. 1, 2, 3. Harper wins. And then the next week, you got Orton with, Bray's hat. And he's saying, you come out now. I'm tired of your games. You need to come out now. And we see someone coming out from the entranceway. And that person has like a lot of clothes on. It's hard to make out because the light isn't on him. And it's as dark as it can be to hide that person. And then, lights go out, lights come back on, and behind Orton is this weird fucking woman behind him that is pale skin, that is fucking blacker than a shadow, type hair, long flowing hair, and looks like a freaking vampire. And he looks right behind him and gets scared. Just, what the fuck? And that person I would have be played by Daphne. Daphne from WCW, from freaking Shimmer, from TNA. Daphne. Bring back Daphne. Right now, Daphne is working the indies. I think she will be perfect for this role. And she is Sister Abigail. Orton is just, for the first time ever, he's scared by this woman. And he's like, what? And just, he doesn't want any part of her. And Daphne then gets on the mic and says, brother, I'm here. And fade to black. And then the next week, you bring out Bray Wyatt, but this time he's in his street clothes. He's in his street clothes. And if you remember, back in 1997, I believe, you had Undertaker come out in street clothes and, have like a shoot promo where he's talking about Kane, he's talking about Paul Bearer, which is one of the best, promos out there, where he's talking about Kane and, and about everything, about their childhood and all that sort of stuff. It's one of the best, work shoot promos, I thought, and just like completely uncharacteristic. This is what I want to do with Bray. Have Bray come out and say that, I do this entire persona because this is what reminds me of my little sister. This is all homage to my little sister. All of this. And these smoke and mirrors and all that sort of stuff. And my little sister, she died when she was a baby. The doctors in the ER couldn't save her because she had a weak heart. And she's dead. Now, I came up with Sister Abigail because it's what gets me up every single day. And reminds me of her, but reminds me of her in a good way because I feel her spirit helping me out. And that's what keeps me going. Every single time I step into these ropes, whether it's people chanting with me, I've got the whole world in my hands, or whether you dislike me for beating up people that you love, like John Cena and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. And this is when the lights go out. Come back on, and you got Sister Abigail right there with Harper and Rowan. She's on that rocking chair, and then she laughs. You've lost it, Bray. You've lost it, old brother. You lost it. You've been losing so many times to the point where I feel ashamed of being your sister. I feel ashamed of sharing the same family name as you. That is why you should drop it, because you are not a Wyatt. You don't deserve to be in our family. And Bray, this is the beginning of your extinction. And Bray is just, on his knees and just, he's in tears. And he's like, you're not my sister. You're not my sister. He's crying. He's just, he's bawling his face out. And she's laughing maniacally. So, and Harper and Rowan are just behind her, just looking menacingly. And then we have a sit-down interview the week after that with Mauro Ranallo, with Bray Wyatt. And Bray says that, tells the whole story. And you have flashbacks, and you show, little bits and pieces of where he grew up, and, his compound and all that sort of stuff. How he found Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, how they were just lost souls, that he helped guide them into, the WWE. Just, add a little bit of reality into your, into the storyline. And yeah, some people might say, oh, this is tasteless, talking about, a dead baby and stuff like that. Well, the best storylines in wrestling, in shows, in movies, and all of that sort of stuff comes from real life situations. So yeah, put that sort of stuff in. And Bray just, he just, brings it all out and says, all of this and all of that. And then he brings up Bo Dallas and says that he is his brother. But Bo has gone, to Raw, and he tried to, break away from our family because he wants to find his own way on his own merits, which is very commendable. And then, you kind of plant seeds of, hey, maybe Bo is going to come over to SmackDown. Since Jack Swagger came to SmackDown, you can do that as well. Bring Bo to SmackDown and let him help Bray fight off against Harper and Rowan. And plus, you've got a new tag team. You got a new tag team on your division. You got, 2 new tag teams in your division that you really, really need. And it would be interesting. It would be very interesting, especially you would do with a lot of, you do the smoke and mirrors and all of those creepy Undertaker-esque type stuff with Daphne and the Wyatts onto, while Bray and Bo are the more realistic guys. Until finally Bo says, come on, brother, all you need is to believe. And Bray is like, this is no time for this. No time for this stupidity. And Bo's like looking at him, hey, look at me. All you have to do is believe. And Bray is thinking about it and he's like, yeah. That's when it just triggers in his head, and he gets the lantern, he gets his hat back, he gets his stuff back, after a losing effort to the Wyatt family, losing at Survivor Series, putting his team, just letting his team down by losing. He finally gets his outfit back, and he's like, I am the Eater of Worlds. On SmackDown, he comes back, and then he says, and you know what? You have not seen the best of me yet. And that's when the ring starts to shake and just breaks apart, and the Wyatt family are in that ring, and the ring just collapses and just thunderbolts and all that great stuff. Yes, it's crazy, but it's wrestling crazy, which works at all levels. It always works. You can do stuff with The Undertaker in 1994 when he's buried, when he's in the casket and then his soul flies away. You can do the buried alive stuff with Mankind. You can do, the Hell in a Cell matches. How many crazy stuff we've seen, and we still ate it up. This is what we need. This is what wrestling needs. It needs more fun. It needs more storylines, like crazy storylines like this. Because if you don't do that, then it's all realistic and boring. You need more variety in your shows, Hey, I know I'm the variety vendor, but it's still, it doesn't mean those shows don't need any more variety. So you gotta do more stuff like that, more crazy stuff, because Bray Wyatt is probably the only he's probably the only guy in WWE right now that can get away with stuff like that. So why not utilize it? Because if you don't, it's hard for me to say, but the product is boring. It's boring. Yeah, SmackDown is kicking ass, but it's only kicking ass by default because Raw's been sucking. Yeah, so the past Raw was good, but anything prior is just, this year has just been horrible for Raw. So yeah, I would love for something like that to happen with the Wyatt family, and then this could lead to Bray winning the Rumble. Let Bray win the Rumble, go on to WrestleMania, and face the champion. Hopefully that's AJ Styles. I would love to see Bray versus AJ Styles. Or you can have Bray go to Raw and face someone from Raw. Let him face Finn Balor for the Universal Championship. That could work. That could absolutely work. Let him go to WrestleMania. Can you imagine the entrances? Bray Wyatt's entrance and Demon Balor, coming out. Those two entrances alone is just, the price of admission. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, with that being said, rate, comment, favorite, and please subscribe. If you agree with me, that's awesome. If you don't, that's cool too. Just let me know. What would you do differently? Until then, take care.